You're listening to the RMPodcast, the official podcast of Red Moon Productions. Here are your hosts, Brandon Davidson, Keith Cheatham, and Sean Sebastian. Enjoy.
Welcome to another episode of the Red Moon Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Brandon Davidson, alongside our normal new host,
Sean Sebastian.
And
Keith Cheatham.
That's right, he's joining us now.
Yes.
I am here.
He's here
I live
for the Red Moon Podcast.
Right.
That's right, guys. He
I
wasn't
live
here.
for God, but the Red Moon Podcast is a close second.
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah.
He just got real serious there.
Serious.
So couldn't even joke around about that
Truth, justice, and the American way.
one. So the thing
Superman.
is, Keith, you weren't able to join us this week, today on our shows.
What really happened was they just went on the show and didn't tell me anything about it. And I was like,
we did a little press
I
junket.
was watching the news and I was like, what happened? To quote
I
Eugene
know.
Levy. So.
We were a little bit shocked. We wanted you
They
there.
showed us two chairs, and we were kind of like,
I got
well-
voted out. I get it. But no, y'all gave me a nice shout out. I really, I appreciate.
I was just saying, we
Yeah, you
didn't
did.
forget about you.
You name dropped me, and I appreciate it. I do.
yes, we did.
Actually, I think Terry Minor's even named
Actually,
dropped.
he
Yeah.
I think he mentioned me first. So thank you, Terry.
Yeah,
Yes,
there you go.
thank you, sir.
So as if anybody out there who didn't know who's joining us out there for our live show, again, as always, like, subscribe, share.
Yes.
We need to get the word out. We did
Please.
a little bit of press today at
PR.
WHAS 11. Thankfully, they allowed us to come in there and join them for Great Day Live, one of their shows in the morning, the noon show, and the 4 p.m. show. So
Yeah.
we're very, very thankful that they allowed us to come out there and spread the news about Red Moon Productions and the Red Moon Podcast.
That's right. Yeah.
So
I
we're
mean,
thankful.
that was pretty cool. I mean, what did you think about being on TV like that? Is it different than this?
Yeah.
I mean, they're both live, but
It's
like
like
I
people
mean-
were actually watching us then.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
I
That's
mean, you're under some pressure. I mean, my heart
Under
was,
pressure.
man. I'm telling you.
Was it pounding?
My heart was pounding.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you could probably hear it in the lapel. You could probably hear it. Boop, boop, boop. I mean, it was.
I didn't know. So you were nervous?
I was nervous. I'm not
I
gonna
guess
lie.
I will say, because I am around it every single day and it's just
Yeah.
kind of in the thick
Well,
of
those,
it.
yeah,
You know,
some of those people.
We know
are
you're
your
not
people.
nervous. You just eat up the camera.
He
so,
loves the
he
attention.
does.
I mean, look at his hair. I mean,
does it look good?
well, your hair stood up the more
You know,
you
does
were
it-
on camera. It was just
Actually, I
like,
was a little.
I
Oh,
think,
yeah.
yeah, it's like the more.
They got
Yeah,
excited.
I noticed. The more they kept talking, the more he kept talking, it just kept.
kind of like a hair erection going on. There.
a hair erection.
yeah.
You had it.
Well, I mean, I was feeling a little good. You know,
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
on set.
Yeah.
I, felt
I
like
mean, there was something that happened though while we were there at at Channel 11 at the studios that I kind of want to talk about. It's just trying to drop down a little bit and make it a little bit more serious right now. But while we were there, I got to meet some pretty cool people, and I mean that was neat. But I'll be honest with you, I was a little uncomfortable because
about what?
Well, while I was there, I was touched by two women. And no, seriously.
I'm not seeing the problem here.
No.
Sean.
But let me explain. Let me just
Oh,
explain.
man.
It's about to get real
First
serious.
thing,
no.
you know, as soon as I get there, I'm like
Uh-oh.
approached by this lady named Caitlin,
Mm-hmm.
and she comes out of nowhere and she's like, "I want to get a picture with you," and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like,
Oh.
"Yeah, I see. I got the shirt on."
Yeah,
so
yeah, absolutely.
Right.
That's honestly, it was the shirt.
I'll take.
It was the
I'll,
shirt.
I'll let you get your picture. You know, so she got a picture with me, and she, you know, she put her arm around me,
Uh-oh.
and
You tell her you were married?
well, she could see the ring, yeah, and she kind of put her fingers, you know,
So
like in my
considerate.
spine a little bit,
Oh.
and it made me a little uncomfortable. I let it go just because she was a fan and all of that stuff. But then later, we were doing this interview with a lady named Lisa, and another fan of the show.
I'm
and
telling you, I don't know
in
why
the-
they eat this up.
In the
They
middle
love
of the
it.
interview,
They really called
in the
us
middle
out
of
to be
the
there.
interview, she reached down and she put her hand on my knee.
Ooh.
It was just a second, but I'm telling you right
Man.
now, it was very uncomfortable.
Really?
And so I thought about this the whole way home. Like, I'm just thinking,
She touched you.
I mean, I'm just like, you know, why is it okay for women to touch me? Like, I mean, if I touched a woman, it would be #me too. And
honestly, that's what I've heard from them.
So this is what I was kind of wanting to start this. I want to start it right here on the Red Moon Pod.
Okay.
I want to start hashtag men too.
Men.
I want to throw an N in there.
Sake.
And here's the icing on the cake. Okay, all of this is done. I'm thinking about it the whole way home. I'm thinking about pressing charges, and I get to McDonald's over here on Terry Road.
Yeah.
And
did you get touched by another lady
I
at
got touched
McDonald's?
by another freaking woman at
Oh
McDonald's.
my gosh!
So I had
Are
the
you
lady.
sure it's not just your irresistible nature?
I had
It's
my
the-
food.
So.
It's no, it's not. It's
Just let me explain.
It's the
I had,
moon
I
shirt.
had my
Let me talk.
food. I was paying for my food. I handed her a 10.
Mm-hmm.
She gives me my change back, and she literally, like it was change, like a bunch of quarters and nickels and dimes and pennies, all the normal change.
Yeah.
She literally like took my hand like this,
grasp. Oh.
and she
oh.
cupped my hand with hers, and then used her other hand to put the money in my hand, and then gave me like a
What did she
little,
do?
See,
kind of like a slide.
Yeah, at first I thought that's what you were going to say because I've had
Yes.
change
No, she
come
put
back,
two
they did
hands
the
on me,
slide, but
like
if she
two.
cupped your,
No,
yeah,
she
that's-
did.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, for real? Like seriously?
What?
I can't say anything because she was black, so I couldn't call
What?
it. I couldn't call her out.
Hold on. No, wait a second. Wait a
It's
second.
different. It's different.
But
I gotta,
you did not take offense to any of this.
I did, and
You
then
did not.
I got up to the second window.
Oh gosh.
And
Here
the
we
lady
go.
that handed me my
What
drink,
is this?
she put her finger on mine when she handed me my drink. So here's the thing, okay? Hashtag men too.
Hashtag men's.
It's
you
gotta
really
start.
felt you
I gotta
felt
start.
you felt violated.
A little bit.
You felt violated.
I
a
don't
little
know.
bit.
I'll tell you a little bit of honesty.
The hand
here.
on the
Honesty?
knee.
I'm telling you a little honesty.
I probably would
really
have
did it
enjoyed
for
the
me.
hand on the knee and
Lisa,
the hand in the back.
If she's listening right now,
Yeah.
like I'm married.
The first
And-
two instances, I think I would have been okay with. Now, I do think it is kind of weird when you're in the drive-thru and someone cups your hand
She
to give
cupped
you the
my
change.
hand.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's too far.
Here's
But
the thing. I still look. I'll tell you right now. I think it's only the one thing. I'm telling you. It's the moon shirt. It's the moon
makes
shirt
sense.
is
We're-
what did it.
he
We're
has to
famous.
bring it back
I
around
get that.
to him
I get it.
somehow.
We're famous. We were on TV. People see you around
That's
a
what it
video
was.
camera, a TV camera.
Be prepared to
And
be
it's
groped
like-
by beautiful women all the time.
I understand that, but I just want to let women know right now, like, don't fondle me.
Don't fondle. You're just that irresistible.
I get it.
What about the
I mean,
men?
I get it.
Can they fondle you?
Well, see, I don't know about that. We'll burn that bridge when we get to it.
I mean, what would that
But-
be? Hashtag men too. What would that be?
Men.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know on that one. Like I said, we'll have to go over that when we get
I don't
there.
know where this
We
went.
just do
But,
hashtag.
Why in the world
but
did this
seriously,
go where
hashtag
it went?
don't touch each other.
That's right. Right.
That's-
so these
okay.
these women that might be listening, they just need to know.
I don't think they're
Next
listening
time
now.
next time I'm in there.
You've done
They're-
accused them. They
they're-
don't want to
they're
listen
done
now.
with
They've
it.
done. They've wrote us off. They're like,
They're
I'm
done
never
with
tuning
you.
in.
Right.
You just killed our entire time of being there.
You wanted an icebreaker, and I'm
You-
trying to make
you
something
killed-
satirical here.
You killed Brandon's chance
So-
of ever being invited back on.
It's obviously I'm joking. I have a picture with this girl. I've got it like
with this girl.
with this.
You're on.
this
You're
woman.
with this
He's,
woman.
he's famous. Okay,
I have-
It's just this girl.
Trust me, it's probably going to be like one of those pictures that I think of at night when I'm.
Gosh, Dan, oh man, he
I'm-
keeps
I'm
thinking
a-
this- See, that's
I'm
what I was
hiding
telling.
off
It-
camera.
I was
Obviously,
gonna
I'm
say,
joking with the hashtag men
no,
too
no,
thing,
we
but
got that.
I mean,
We got
I
it.
did want to point out that I was groped a lot today, and I
Were
just
they putting your mic on and stuff and just?
Oh, yeah.
oh,
yeah.
he groped me while he was putting the mic on.
I did.
Like
I
he was
did.
all like
Well, he likes to
up
grope
in my neck
okay?
and stuff.
Getting a collar.
But
I
see,
wasn't
that's-
there for
I'm
him to
used to
grope.
that.
See, that's okay.
But
The real thing
I wasn't
is
there for him to grope.
I'm
so he had
not
to
used to
grope
having
somebody.
strange women touch me.
the
so.
thing is he's not used to the biz. He's
biz.
not used to being in our industry, and it's like, look, that's just part of the game.
Yeah.
It's part of the game. Not to mention, I'll tell you right now.
You tell us. He's gonna
I'm
tell us
telling
right
you, I'm
now.
dropping a truth bomb on Sean.
Oh
here.
my!
God.
Oh
There
my.
was no groping of any kind. All there was, hey, look, John, Caitlin's right over there about to do the weather. It's like I'm gonna have to pull her on over here just to get. And I know he wanted a picture. I know for a fact he wanted a picture.
Who you gonna believe?
I've seen the picture, so I know who to believe because
Who you gonna believe?
Sean is a very upstanding man.
That's right. That's right.
If he says he felt
I know the
violated,
Obamas.
You
So
blame me, Obama?
No,
Man,
I know the Obamas. So all I have to do is make a phone call,
I know
and
Barbara
everybody's gonna
Bush.
believe me.
or
What?
knew Barbara Bush.
Oh.
You did too, though.
God
You knew
rest her
Barbara- yeah,
soul.
rest her soul.
All I know is I don't know how this got off the rails.
We got off
We
the
had
rails.
a great time
I'm
at
just
HAS.
joking. It was a great time. I loved being touched by all these women. It was hashtag whatever you want. It was just all a big joke.
He really appreciates the
It was a
airtime.
hoax.
I think we all appreciate
It was a hate crime hoax.
the hate crime.
Oh,
hashtag
that's
Me
what
Too
this is
hoax.
all about. It's all about Smollett.
They'll
It's a
drop
Smollett.
that.
We're
It's-
dropping
they'll drop
charges.
that. I
We're
just
dropping
dropped
charges.
Anyways, I think we've got on
let's go.
quite a ways with this. All this, speaking of movements and all that, there's
Lisa's
been a lot of
listening.
I'm
Lisa's
sure
listening.
She, yeah.
You think so?
She
You
knows,
need to
and
drop
I-
your
She
camera.
knows.
Wow,
She knows.
you're
Oh, yeah.
there you go.
I enjoyed it though.
Anyway, we have a great review coming for you.
My knee is still tingling.
Plus, on top of Sean's hashtag Men
Men
Too,
Too.
there's a few other controversies swirling around Hollywood.
Oh, yeah, we've got
When
tons.
is there
Yes.
not? Yeah, when is there
Yes.
not? But some of them actually tie into the review, so I think we should go ahead and listen to that.
Let's go ahead and roll that review. Why don't we?
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Brilliant horror and suspense builds upon the things that disrupt the way we fundamentally view the world. The unknown. Not having the answers scares us, and writer, producer, director Jordan Peele knows this better than anyone. Perhaps this is why he has been entrusted with reviving The Twilight Zone. Peele proved he could take social ideas and make people think with his first film, Get Out. People of different political ideas saw the same film and both walked away perturbed and, of course, thinking. While Get Out may have had a more political slant, even if it wasn't the slant people thought it would be, Peele has stated with his new movie his main concern was just outright scaring people. Us stars Lupita Nyong'o as Adelaide, who as a girl encountered a doppelganger of herself in a funhouse on the beach in Santa Cruz. Her whole life, Adelaide has felt this stranger who looked just like her has been coming for her. And as her and her family now vacation at the same beach years later, they will be plagued by more than just a copy of Adelaide. Us is creepy and unsettling in the best ways a horror film can be. The idea of mirror images of ourselves coming to replace us is a trope used many times throughout horror stories, but Peele puts a clever twist on it, proving that what scares us most might be ourselves. Besides a clever and creepy story, Peele proves that he can execute in technique along with delivering thought-provoking scares. His talent as director shines through just as much as his writing and story, with music used throughout the film adding eerie atmosphere alongside more metaphors, along with terrifying imagery. Peele proves he is a master of horror. Equally brilliant is the performance of the cast, who all played double roles, that of their character and each character's double. Lupita Nyong'o has always proven talented, but her co-stars Winston Duke and child actors Shahadi Wright-Joseph and Evan Alex are just as impressive. Ultimately, Peele accomplished his goal and more with Us. It definitely scares, and while there are plenty of themes, metaphors, and underlying thought-provoking messages throughout the film, at its core, Us is still a brilliant suspense/horror film. Heavier on the suspense than outright horror, though the thoughts it conveys make up the horror just as much as the suspense. It raises questions on a much broader scale than its predecessor, and that's a good thing. Because now Peele is able to reach that much more audience members, and if a horror film can both scare and connect with people on that larger scale, you know it's good. I give Us 3.5 out of 4 stars.
That's right, 3.5 out of 4 stars for the movie Us.
Ooh, I
did
like
you like that? Did you like
Right
how
when
that
the
ended?
music was
Here's the
ending,
thing,
yeah.
though. That's the thing about live production. You never know
Who's gonna touch
when
you?
your friends are gonna throw you under the bus. I had no clue.
We always
any of that
know
was coming.
Brandon's going to touch us, so
Oh.
I mean that's
a
going to
given.
happen.
I'll admit to
So-
that.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't got to worry about me lying about
I know
that.
it.
I'll touch you whenever I want.
Okay.
Awkward pause.
That's yeah.
yeah.
I
See,
I didn't have a response to that one.
but that's the thing about live. I'll just shout out to Caitlin and Lisa if they're listening.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to walk back into work tomorrow, and they're just going to be tapping their foot waiting for me.
I want
like,
you to walk
just
into
pound
work.
me.
No, you
What
walk
are
into work, you look them in the eye, and you say, "You touched my friend."
Yes. I mean, how am I ever gonna be able to walk back in there
How's
now?
he going to go home and look his wife in the eye? Just the
has 2
eye.
of 'em.
No, just the eye. Just the one.
Just the one.
Just the one.
I don't know.
He said he don't know.
3.5 out of 4
3.5,
stars
yes.
for the
Yes.
movie Us.
Us.
Let's talk about it. For one, are we going to throw out spoilers? Are we going to have spoilers? Because I know we have some listeners out there who maybe have not.
we shouldn't.
I keep saying listeners. I'm stuck in the radio
Listen,
days.
we have viewers
now. We
People
have
are
viewers.
actually watching us.
Yes.
I'm stuck in those radio days, but we have viewers now who maybe have not seen Us. They're seeing us now. Oh, the Red Bucket. So the thing is we may have some spoilers. Spoiler alert if you've not seen this film. Just stick with us throughout. I'll throw up a little lower third here in a sec about the movie Us. You'll know when that lower third goes away. You can rejoin the conversation. But all things us considered, why would we give it 3.5 out of 4? For one, Keith, I know you gave it 3.5 out of 4. What about you, Sean? Would you agree with that?
When I walked out of the movie, I think I was like 4 out of 4.
Oh,
but
yeah.
after kind of letting it process and everything, I dropped it down to 3.5. Not because of any particular thing wrong with the film. I just felt like 4 out of 4 for a horror movie. I've seen better, but it was a fantastic movie.
There were a few minor things that bugged that, like like I said, very small, just little like technicalities that I wish like might have been a little bit better that could have pushed it at 4 out of 4. But for the most part, I mean, it was an excellent film.
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean, the acting from all of the cast. I mean, I know Lupita Nyong'o gets a lot of praise all the time because she is an amazing actress. She did an incredible job in this movie. But I mean, it's not just her. Like Winston Duke and the two child actors. I mean, I thought all of them.
No, they were fantastic.
Especially I think Alex Evans and it was Shahadre. I can't. I'd have to look
Butchering
it up.
their name.
Yeah, I don't want to butcher her name. I feel bad about it.
Like John Travolta over here.
Yeah.
Adele Mazin.
Adele Mazin, yes. I'm gonna pull that up real quick. But anyways, yeah, the child actors, Shahadi. That's it. Shahadi, right?
I don't know if you could say that.
That's her name, Shahadi. I thought they were excellent. Honestly, it's hard anytime you have a child actor to get them to emote and act well. I mean, you see a lot of instances of poor child. I mean, like Jake Lloyd. You see bad child actors, but especially for how nuanced it is. Like, I mean, the way they had to be as creepy as they were as the doppelgangers, like, really impressed me with them too. I mean, especially the little boy Evan Alex, because he was just, as like that little pyromaniac little monster kid was just. I'm just saying, it was creepy and really well done. I mean, that takes some talent. And a talented director. I'd give praise to Jordan Peele to get that performance out of that.
Of note is really the fact that you had these actors playing two parts.
Yeah.
In the movie. I mean, they had to
play their
themselves
normal
and their doppelgangers.
And then their doppelgangers. And that's what really, especially like Winston Duke, as the father was just kind of average. Like, I mean, he wasn't bad, but I was like, it was good. But then when his like doppelganger came into effect, that was when I was like, oh wow, he's giving because I mean, he was in Black Panther, he was in this, and he wasn't bad in either of those roles, like as the dad or as the tribe leader in Black Panther. But he was just, I think anybody could have played those parts. But when the doppelganger came in, I was like, okay, no, he's actually giving off a really good performance. Like, he's capable of doing more than just a typical perforformance. And I mean, that impressed me.
Well, and it's funny because I'm glad you brought him up because truthfully, I thought he was the weakest character in the film.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
I thought overall, I thought they kind of there were just some choices that he made throughout the story that I thought really. I don't know. I didn't think Peele delivered his character development.
Horror a lot always has. You always have some element of humor in there because you can't keep it all suspense and horror all the time. You have to have
comedic relief.
You have to have a little bit of levity in there to keep people from being constantly on edge. And I do think his character was supposed to kind of be that, but it wasn't. I didn't think it was as well done as it could have been, especially from Jordan Peele,
his character came off more of as weak than comical. I mean, it's like,
well, that may be
I'm not the biggest,
too.
Strongest guy, obviously, but like if my wife and my family were in danger, there's not a lot that I wouldn't be willing to do to protect them.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'm just like, this guy was like a pushover.
Well, he started out like when he was going out the door to confront them. Like, that was like, okay, I got that. Like, that was fine. Like, he went out and told them they needed to leave, and then he went and got the bat and all that. I was like, okay, this is him being the male figure. And then once he kind of got taken down, like after that he never came back. And I'm like, yeah, he hurt his leg, and like I mean, the boat scene with him and his doppelganger I thought was amazing.
Yeah. Yes,
but that was like the best. Everything. Yeah, that was the best. Oh yeah, I told Brandon when I watched it, it's like when that first happened and you hear like this other sound like.
In the distance,
I was like, "What the heck was that?"
Because, well, and we had even talked about
anybody else communicating with.
I was gonna say we talked about that a little bit like, after you recorded some foreshadowing there. Which again, spoiler alert if you've not seen this movie and you don't want any spoilers. But yeah, it was a little bit of foreshadowing of other things to come in the film that we didn't quite pick up on until maybe after other things are revealed later on.
Yes.
And so it was interesting to. It was just those little subtle unsettling moments that I think really allowed you to, I don't know, it kept me engaged the whole time, and it really kept me thinking about, I didn't know what else was coming. And truth be told, I really was just constantly trying to figure out the mystery as it unfolded.
Yeah.
But then again, it was like, it was that mix, it was the mystery of not knowing what was coming, and then also being unsettled by it being terrifying. The little things that he threw in that were just like horror instances. It wasn't like they added to the story.
Every shot of like all the doppelgangers like doing like the hands across America, them holding hands, like was just so perfectly well done. Like it was creepy. Every time I saw that, like that visual of them like holding hands and creating this line across, the country, I was just like, man, that creeps me out.
Yeah.
And it was really well done. Like I said, it was more than just being able to direct well. I mean, and Jordan Peele has proven that he can write, he can direct, and I mean the technical aspects. I mean, getting like those nuanced performances or being able to create the cinematography and his use of music was impressive in the movie. I mentioned that in my review.
Thought the score was really well done.
I mean, the score was good, and I mean, even the songs he selected, like with the Beach Boys and the NWO.
I would say his ethnic flavor of exactly.
But they fit each scene and added like a little bit of like some more like metaphor and layers because the song kind of referenced kind of what was going on in each situation.
Yes,
and I was like, it was so perfect. I was like, this is smart. I mean, it was really like smart writing. Like I said, the only things that really kind of kept it from being, like that 4-star movie, I didn't like they mentioned, when they first kind of run into their doppelgangers and Lupita Nyong'o's character is talking about how like they're connected and because like, she met her husband and married him, she was forced to basically do the same with the doppelganger. And they mentioned how they're connected, but they never showcase like how like they're connected by movement too until like the very end.
Yes.
Like when you see the boy with the lighter and he's like, it's a trap, and he walks backwards and it forces the doppelganger to walk backwards. That's the first instance of that, and it plays a major major role in the plot. And I didn't. The
reason why I somewhat disagree with you here is because I think it was subtly told throughout, and I think I explained this to Sean walking out of the theater when we saw it. Was to me, you see the level of which I think the doppelgangers are connected to, or I guess the tethered is what they're called. The tethered are connected to the people in the real world.
Yeah.
And it was like you saw like this little boy who's always being told what to do.
Yeah.
And just like you are as a kid, it's like you do what you're told. And then, it makes sense that his doppelganger would be connected in such a way that everything he did, he mimicked. And then you get to the daughter who's being told like, hey, get off your phone in the middle of the night. You need to go to bed. And then what she does, she pulls the cover over her head and she starts getting on the phone, kind of ignoring, showing that.
I get that.
But hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
So having that moment of like showing that, okay, I'm rebelling a little bit. And then you see her have this bout with her doppelganger where obviously her doppelganger is not doing the exact same things that she's doing. It's like a person in and of herself. So I think you had that understanding of as you grew up, the tethered became less and less connected and became a little bit more of themselves, which is then.
But in the flashback, it shows all the adults are doing exactly what
are doing.
I agree, but I think that also lends itself to the other twist, which I don't quite want to give away.
Yeah.
But there's that other twist that I think lends itself to being why
they possibly learned how to resist.
I get that she said,
tethered.
Yeah,
exactly.
She did say like they learned from her how to no longer like how to free themselves.
Yeah, okay.
And I got that, and I get like maybe the boy hasn't quite learned that yet because he's young, but the movie never really clearly states any of that. And that just kind of irked me. That it was like for that to be kind of a heavy plot point. I feel like it should have been.
But to me, I think the real hurt in the writing was more the dialogue.
And that
I thought the subtleties and the nuances with the music choice, like you said, was good writing and detail. Had some undertones that it's like, okay, this tells a little bit more of the story or gives you backstory you didn't really know was there. But I thought the writing was poor in some parts. I thought it started out strong, and then I think it kind of drifted into, there were just moments of sincerity, and then there were also moments of, and it wasn't just with Lupita Nyong'o's character, which it's, again, without spoiling anything, her kind of off-kilter dialogue made sense by the end of the film. Some of the others I just thought were a little bit too... I felt like he was trying too hard to be... I don't want to say real.
Yeah.
I think he was trying to add some authenticity of it being like an all-black cast that really I didn't feel came across to me. Like, to me, one thing that I loved was when they're on their way to the beach and you hear the music come on and like she turns around and she starts snapping her fingers like, listen to the beat. And and I could that was a real
like
moment.
that scene. That was a good
That was a
scene.
real moment to me.
That was
but
a really
then
good scene.
there were times where her and her husband are talking back and forth, and it's supposed to be kind of genuine, and you can sense there's a genuine feel there. But I thought some of the way in which he wrote the script was a little bit lackluster. I think it could have been more
enjoy
fleshed
the dialogue, but I forget their names, but the White family, the friends in the movie.
Yes,
the dialogue between them, especially when there's a scene where the wife is up on the balcony and she's yelling down at the guy sitting in the chair drinking. And I'm just the dialogue between them two, with him just no, I'm just gonna sit here and drink.
They were
and
just really stupid.
And you could tell they were playing to the stereotypes.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can tell he was trying to.
But that was too hard. It was way too hard.
Yeah, I think that was the problem. Is he wanted to have that stereotypical, them be those stereotypical characters. And which is fine. I don't mind having them in there, but do something.
Fault.
But it was it was too much. It was if he had made them just a little bit, especially if the dialogue had been better.
Yes.
Something to add so that they felt real and not just the stereotypes they were representing. Because I kind of had a issue with that. And the only other issue, without spoiling anything, but there's a scene where at the end when it goes to the flashback and shows everything that happened to Lupita Nyong'o's character when she was a little girl. There's a scene there where I just wondered why she knew where the stairs were. She knew why did she never just go back up the stairs?
Yeah.
I mean, I know it showed her lock her up, but she got free. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was. I don't want to go.
Yeah, I don't want to
into
spoil
much
anything.
detail.
But you get what I'm saying?
Obvious choices.
That exit was there the whole time, and it was never explained why she
didn't just
use
go
that exit.
Right.
Yeah.
So and that kind of because the whole plot of the movie kind of revolves around this point. So which is fine, but then I wish there had been a believable explanation for why. There was no way out.
Her doppelganger or her tethered when she's a child is the apparently the first and only one to go up the stairs.
Absolutely.
But it's actually escalator that's going down.
Yeah.
So, but I mean,
I got that.
We see kids run up the escalator all the time in the mall or whatever. So
that kid is back on the escalator.
Yeah, why is she the only one who's ever tried to go up the escalator? And
well, that was fun. It was a fluke.
Just
I got that because of the whole pairing thing, the tether thing. That the way it just happened perfectly. That the way their paths and the way they were walking, that she was able to finally get free. And then once she realized what had happened, it created this whole chain of events. That didn't bother me. I just. The other girl, I'm just now that you know that that's there, why not use it?
Try to escape.
Yeah. So I don't know, but like I said, I don't want to spoil anything. But that was just the only other issue.
I think we really spoiled a lot. But
no. I mean,
we were vague about it
that you're not expecting, and I don't think we gave that away. So that I agree with the 3.5 out of 4 stars.
It was still, I mean, my nitpicky things, but it was still a great movie.
It was a terrifying movie.
Oh, yes.
I mean, the suspense of them being outside trying to get in the house at first just really freaked me out. I don't know why. And the red outfits, which, again, I don't know where they got the fabric to make the red outfits, but that kind of, I don't know what it is about the color red in the movie that really...
Yeah, he did use red a lot, but it was good. Like I said, he had a lot of symbolism with the rabbits and everything, and I thought it was very intriguing and very creepy.
Okay.
Yeah, so, continuing with the discussion of Us. I kind of want to talk about, because I gave it 3 stars, you all gave it 3.5, you knocked yours back down to 3.5.
I knocked it down, yeah.
Okay, so, but discussing a little bit more about this film, obviously, with Jordan Peele kind of, having his, I don't know, huge day in the sun. I mean, this is 2 back-to-back movies in the last 2 years. You've had Get Out. You have now Us this year.
Oh, yeah. He's definitely proven himself to be very talented.
Absolutely. So in saying that, it's kind of funny because it's caught a little controversy in the media recently with some comments that he's made after this release. Obviously, everything has been touted in terms of, not only the major success that this film has had and also just the fact that it is a culturally, I would say ethnically, pushing movie in terms of trying to get diversity in its cast and a major black cast, and all of the main characters are black. So he's been deliberate in his movie. His first one was more of a social commentary.
His first
on that
one, he was
matter.
very deliberate. It was kind of funny with this because he had stated that I mean there are some underlying themes and ideas there that push certain agendas, but his overall goal, he stated starting out, was to basically just to scare everybody. He wanted to make a movie that was terrifying for all audiences, not just, one select group or push one certain agenda.
Yeah.
And then, of course, once the movie released and, some of those themes are obviously there, even though they're very subtle, which he admitted would be there, I think Hollywood and the media really took off.
They
with
roll
that.
with it.
They
do.
took it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, yeah, this movie's
A lot of
nothing but this movie that pushes this agenda. And I think he got caught up in that hype.
Yeah.
Because originally, like he said, his goal was to make a movie that just spoke to everybody.
Yeah. Well,
but now
I
that
don't
the
think it
media...
does. The media makes it sound like the whole movie is just about the privileged and underprivileged and all of this.
And I mean, there's themes of that there,
I
definitely.
can see the subtleness of that,
Yeah.
but I don't think that's the entire purpose of the film.
Definitely not.
Its
Well, he
purpose
said
is
it wasn't.
to just be a scary movie. I
He
mean,
said,
it can
right,
be.
he said it wasn't, but
Yeah.
but to
But
go
now,
back to
yeah.
with this comment that he's made about I don't see myself casting white dudes as leads in any of my films. I think we actually may have some differing opinions around the table here, but I want to divulge that because we don't shy away from the controversial topics.
No, I mean,
and let's talk about his comments and ask ourselves, like, for one, I think we can all safely say that if this were turned around and it was a white guy saying I don't cast black dudes as leads, then it would be
Hollywood
completely
it would be crazy.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. I have no problem with Jordan Peele saying if he never wants to hire a white male in his lead, more power to him. If he's footing the bill, like he's producing the movie like he did with this, he's directing it, he's making it, that's his choice. He did state that one of the reasons, he said, I won't hire white dudes. I've already seen that movie. And then he went on, the part of the quote that keeps getting left out is he went on to say, he's like, I want to hire, a black cast because I want to prove now that with what I've done and the success I've had that there is representation in Hollywood and it's not all
exactly.
And I was like, that quote I appreciate. It's like he's saying, I made good films with a diverse cast, and because of that, I can continue to do so, and I'm going to continue to do so. More power to him for that. My problem is the double standard, like you said. I don't care if he doesn't want to hire white dudes for his movies, but then if somebody doesn't want to hire someone else for their movies, that should be okay too.
Yeah.
And of course, it wouldn't be if someone like you said I won't hire a black lead.
Right, and that's where I have to agree with you on principle. I have to say, look, I have no problem. Like you said, if he's footing the bill and he this is his film, he has every right to choose who he wants to put in it.
Yeah,
and frankly, I do agree with him in the sense that it's like it's kind of sad. And it's more, I think, a statement about Hollywood and where they've
definitely.
been.
Yeah,
in
that's
the
where
sense,
their heart is right now.
Right, because if you think about it, it's like it's taking a black major director to come in and say, where are our films?
Yeah.
Like, where's the major black cast? Yeah. And it's like, for instance, for him to say, there are plenty of other movies out there for you to see white leads. Now, I know there's the whole argument of what does it matter? You're right, what does it matter? So then why are there a majority of films? Granted, you could say, well, white is the majority, and that's what they would argue. But I agree with him in the sense that I have no problem with seeing more of a representation. The way he put it plainly of just saying, oh, yeah, I've already seen that movie.
Yeah.
He's right. It's like, I mean, you could turn on any...
But like when you start off with...
Yes.
I'm not going to hire white dudes as the lead.
It sounds bad.
Then that sounds bad, and that's what the media is going to roll with. They're going to roll with that headline. They're not rolling with the headline that goes along with his
is not
other
only
comments.
Are they rolling with that headline, but it's that they're rolling with that headline as like championing him.
Oh, yeah.
And saying, oh, well, this is good for him. Applaud
if
Peele.
he just flat out came out and said, look, there's plenty of movies with white leads. Our people have not had the chances to, they have had the chances.
You had Friday. It was
but
great.
I'm just saying, like,
hey, Friday's a good movie.
That was a racist comment right there. Wasn't it?
That is a good movie. They also have Tyler Perry, but Friday's good.
They don't
Maybe
want
not
Tyler
so
Perry. They don't want him. But I mean, if he just come right out and said, "Look, I want to give my people a chance to be in these roles, and give them these leads," so that's why I'm going to steer away from what most other directors are doing, and I'm going to only cast African American people.
Right.
Well, okay, great. If you say it that way, but when you come right out and just say, I'm never going to hire a white dude.
And it's weird because I think it was
rude.
It was off the cuff. It's in an interview. It's in a back and forth.
Well, like I
but
said,
it was taken out of context.
I think a lot of the media push of surrounding the fact that Get Out was definitely heavily had its political points.
Yeah.
And then they wanted that from us just as much. So I think all that media spin And of course, Jordan Peele is in the thick of Hollywood right now. He's a big name in Hollywood.
Yeah.
He's going to go with the flow. I mean, why wouldn't you? You're getting all this celebrity.
Well, I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't think. I mean, I'm pretty sure Peele is probably a lot more left leaning than I am. He's probably
definitely.
I'm not going to say he's not in with the Hollywood elite in that regard. That's what I find so funny is I'm like, but it's taken you to make that step to go forward and say, I'm going to hire an all-black cast or an all-black leading
honestly,
cast.
That's what we've said in the past, though. It's like I have no problem with all-black cast, all Asian cast, anything. Just make good movies. If you make good movies, you'll be allowed to continue making good movies, and Jordan Peele proved that point. Yeah. He even said it himself. Before Get Out, if he had went to Universal and say, I want to make a horror movie with like all-black cast that's like this, they would have told him no. But because Get Out was a success and he proved that he could make quality films that made money, they're going to let him do what he wants because they know they're going to.
Well, and it's not only that Get Out was a success because it took somebody taking a chance on Get Out. It's Hollywood that we've seen consistently behind the times and pushing the message that they've claimed to have heralded, and that's the problem. That it's like. Again,
well, Hollywood's afraid. Yeah, they're terrified of taking a chance on anything.
Well, but then again, because they look at it as coming down to the bottom dollar. But that's when I'd ask Hollywood, who told you that an all-black cast movie wouldn't sell? And it's I'm sorry, I don't think it should have taken as long to get to Black Panther, but it did because I think they were under that impression. But again, that goes back to why aren't they looking at themselves in the mirror and asking themselves that question?
They're the first ones to cry, racism and inequality, but they're also the first ones to say, no, that won't make money. We can't have a female superhero or a black cast that leads a serious film, not a Tyler Perry film.
Another thing it seems like is most of these films that are starting to become a little bit more diverse or even like Jordan Peele's movies where it's just the leading roles are black people. A lot of them, like Black Klansman, for instance, are just... It's almost like if you're going to have a movie like this,
vitriolic
then
and hateful.
Got to make it a Trump-bashing, Republican-hating, white people-hating movie.
Right. But us wasn't.
And this was not
great.
that, and I appreciate that about it. That goes into my star review, is that it wasn't this just mash of political nonsense.
And it's not just...
It was a good movie.
It's not just that. I mean, look at Crazy Rich Asians also proved you could have a diverse comedy that's quality comedy that people... It made lots of money. It's not so much about who's in the movie. Most people don't care if it's an all-black cast, an all-Asian cast, an all-white cast. What they care about is they want to be entertained.
Is it a good movie?
Yeah.
Is it a good storyline? Can I follow this and actually be entertained by it?
Exactly. And I welcome, make any type of movie you want to make with whatever cast you want. Hire Asians, black people, Hispanics, whatever, white people, but make it a good and entertaining movie, and people will pay for it. Yeah.
I mean, you have a film that was shot in black and white. It was shot with subtitles. It was shot in Mexico. And it's an Academy Award-winning movie.
Released by Netflix.
Oh, wow. That takes us to another topic almost, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Yeah. Man, we were just making I love these segues. Might I at least add, though, that it's funny that we're talking about diversity and it is three white dudes around a table.
That's true.
But, hey, that's what I think
we've had three women on here before.
That's true. But who better to lecture people about equality than the white privilege? I mean, come on now.
Exactly. My point exactly. But that's the thing. At least... We're trying to have an open mind and an open discussion.
Like I said, I don't have a problem if that's Peele's decision. I just don't like the double standard.
What about the comments of him being like this generation's Hitchcock? How do you feel about that?
Not yet.
Yes, that to me is still premature. Because here's the thing: you have a lot. It's just like Jennifer Lawrence being the next Meryl Streep.
Oh, yeah,
definitely not. Definitely not.
And you know what? If there was one thing I wish I could have said on our great Louisville station here today, it would have been to say, "Sorry, no, they weren't talking her up." But I have a disdain for J Law.
I know,
and I know a lot of people in Louisville may say, "Well, that's just terrible.
Yeah,
you should be supporting our hometown girl." No. She is not a Meryl Streep. She's got a long way to go.
A long way.
And the fact is I wish she had a lot more credibility on the screen so that I could tout that she may be the next Meryl Streep. And there's a lot of talent there, but she's not had enough screen credits or enough.
I've seen her
enough diverse roes that I've seen.
I've seen her in more bad movies at this point.
That's absolutely right.
When she was on a roll and getting a lot, Silver Linings Playbook.
She needs
Winter's
20
Bone.
more Winter's Bone. And if she could do 20 more of those, then we'll talk about Meryl Streep.
But she's done 3 X-Men movies, and only one of them was decent.
Hunger Games.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what she's.
Hunger Games was okay.
Almost,
I would say that's bad.
But that's the
no
thing.
more.
She's now a cash cow.
She's a cash cow.
She's a cash cow.
Are you calling her a cow,
I
Brandon?
am.
She
That's
is.
sexist.
Terrible.
She is the
That's
Louisville
sexist.
cow. No,
Y'all are
but
sexist.
someone else that was getting ready to be on Great Day Live was talking about Jennifer Lawrence. And
yeah.
A shout out to our Jennifer Lawrence, and I was just like, I wanted to like say something on the show, but I was
He's like,
"Nah,
oh,
I'm
maybe
not gonna
Ralph.
Yes.
But that's the thing. I going back to Jordan Peele, I think he's got a little ways to go. I think he's had 2 great successes. Again, I love the fact that he can speak about his whole I'm not going to cast white dudes. That's fine. That's his own opinion.
keep making good
but
movies.
as long as his stories aren't suffering from having those moments, and having that whatever commentary he may have, the fact is as long as it's a good movie and it's entertaining, then I'm going to keep supporting the guy and I'll go see his movie.
When it comes down to it, I think what we've always said is hire whoever's best for the role. If that's a black person, then hire them. If it's, if whoever fits the role best and can act the best for that part, that's who deserves it.
But I will say, I mean, it's weird because I don't think I would have said this before, but after seeing something like Us, it has taken me seeing a movie where it's just, like, to me, the black leads, of course I noticed it because it isn't normal, but I didn't notice it because they were, like, I don't normally see an entirely black cast.
No, absolutely.
And so it's like, it was one of those situations.
But it was still good.
But that's my thing.
Yeah.
I was like,
Not saying that it couldn't be
well,
good.
but my point is that I wasn't focused on that.
No,
I was focused on the story.
Yeah.
I was from the
was
very beginning of the movie. I did not care that about
absolutely.
the color of
diversity.
these skin.
You
I didn't
care.
I didn't care at all.
It didn't.
It held its own. That's what's most important.
Exactly. Well, it was a good movie, and that's all I cared about. Exactly. It wasn't that I went in thinking, okay, well, this is really good for an all-black cast. I was like, no, this is just a really good movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also now kind of pivoting because we have some other people making some controversial statements here.
Steven.
Well, you know it. It's coming.
He's an old white Jewish dude. What are you gonna do?
Talk about privilege. I mean, there's privilege right there.
I love that we just
Hollywood elite.
We're talking about diversity. It's like, man, we were just throwing them out, man. We're calling a spade a spade.
Well, it's because just like I said with the Jordan Peele thing, I don't like the double standard. He's created his own double standard.
That's right.
Hypocrisy with Steven Spielberg.
So Mr. Spielberg has decided to bash Netflix. We've had it as a topic of the week here on the show. And he wants to change the Academy guidelines.
He just said streaming in general.
Yes.
He doesn't like small screen, and Netflix. He picked Netflix out because they're the biggest, and he said he doesn't believe a streaming service should be eligible for Academy Awards.
That's right. So he's been wanting to change the Academy rules so that Netflix and other streaming services have a harder time and possibly never ever have the chance of being nominated for an Oscar.
Well, except for when they give money to him,
right?
Because here's the thing: Apple released their new streaming service or announced their new streaming service this past week as Apple TV Plus, and one of the, in fact, the very first person on stage to promote their upcoming production was Mr. Spielberg himself. And granted, it is a TV series releasing on Apple TV Plus.
But
so let's talk about the hypocrisy and let's talk about the differences based on what Mr. Spielberg is, of course, arguing here.
Okay.
I'll open up the floor.
I was just going to say that I get it. Okay, in his mind, maybe because it's a TV series, it's okay because then it's still the small screen.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like if you're going to complain about Netflix and all these streaming services and say they don't really have any credibility compared to the silver screen, it's like then why are you supporting one? And it's like in his mind, it's like well, I'm just saying.
Mic drop.
I understand in his mind, he might think, well, it's just a series, so that doesn't matter. But it's like, yeah, but you better believe Apple's going to want in on that Oscar game the same way Netflix is.
Yeah.
Or but that's been his argument. His argument has been against streaming services in general.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And he wants
he
wants to try and destroy their credibility when it comes to what it is they accomplish. Or he's tried to give them a pat on the back and say, well, because they're still on the small screen, it's okay that they're nominated for Emmys. And I'm like, but the fact of the matter is how does, it being on a small screen take away from the experience you made? And granted, I know he's doing a TV series, and yes, he's right. He can sit here and cry all day about, Well, mine's different. I'm actually doing a TV series for TV.
Yeah.
That's how it differs.
But
But
he's
there's
still lending them
movies that are coming
credibility.
out on
Yeah.
Apple TV Plus, and you're going to sit here and tell me that they may not be just as credible
Is he
for
gonna
nominations?
Is he going to argue that Apple Plus, who is paying him to make a TV series, he's going to say, "Yeah, well, I'm going to make the series for me, and you're giving me your money, but I'm going to tell you that you can't have an Oscar if you make a good movie."
Yeah.
It's like I
And
don't.
what are they
going to
do when they ask him to produce a movie for them?
That's
Is he-
and
and
If
then
they throw money
you
at
know?
him, he's going to do it.
exactly.
know?
That's what's coming. What's coming is
That's what I'm saying.
I guarantee you he's going to be asked to do a
Oh
movie
yeah,
next.
absolutely.
And it bugs me because he says, yes, it's Netflix, it's on a small screen, so therefore it should have an Emmy, not an Oscar. Except for the fact that Netflix follows the Academy's rules
That's right.
and releases their movies in theaters specifically to be eligible for an Oscar. So it shouldn't matter that, yes, it's also on Netflix on the small screen. That movie did play in theaters for the required amount of time.
Again, playing devil's advocate
Yeah.
though, that's where he would argue. That's why he wants the Academy
He
rules
wants to change those rules. Yeah,
He wants to
because
change the
he
rules
wants-
you don't like the competition.
I know.
very well may be the
I don't
case,
know if
but-
it's that he doesn't like the competition. I think it's like for some reason I think he feels like he's being stepped on in terms of. I think he sees it as it needs to be done in this traditional way, and that you have to pay your dues. And I think he sees the streaming game as being a little bit too direct to consumer. And I think he feels threatened by that because now he's like, well, now there's going to be this plethora of content, and it's like, are we really going to let the consumer decide what should be awarded and what? And I'm like,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, again, and
That's
then-
who it's all about, right? I mean, it's about making money. It's about pleasing the consumer.
right.
So, I mean, that's where his mind needs to be. Is,
Well, I mean, the Oscars used to be about awarding
award,
those
yeah.
for their best, like the best technical ability. I mean, the fact that if you had the best performance as an actor, you deserve an award. If you had your film like you directed, like Jordan Peele, and it was just
Yeah.
every aspect was incredible, you should win an award for directing, cinematography. I mean, that was the point, was to award the best of the best. And if you're a Netflix movie and your directing, your cinematography, your writing, your music, if all of that was better than any movie released in theaters, why shouldn't it get rewarded for that?
No, absolutely. No, I completely agree. Now, I would say I'm fine with there being criteria. I'm fine with the Academy saying there has to be these guidelines you have to follow.
Absolutely.
And I'd even be for, because here's the thing, I'd be for changing them, but not to oust somebody, to make the movies that are nominated more credible.
Yeah.
And I think the way in which he was coming about it, specifically targeting the streaming services, that's what makes his statement hypocritical. The fact that it's like he was directly coming out against Netflix, Amazon Prime, because he wanted to say that these films weren't up to the same caliber, which is BS. You watch them, it doesn't matter if you watch them on a 60-foot screen or you watch them at home on your TV.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is the content is what matters. Content is king. And at the end of the day, I think, as long as Netflix is going to jump through the hoops, or whoever the streaming service is going to jump through the hoops that the Academy puts out there to say this is what you need to be nominated, then what does it matter?
Yep.
And it's like, even if you want to change the rules, why wouldn't you change the rules to benefit the fact that, we're talking about film history here. We're talking about film legacy. And ultimately, at the end of the day, if you're truly trying to salvage, the legacy of film and pay homage to it and make sure that films truly do stand the test of time that are given Oscars, it doesn't matter where they come from.
Well, you're using a word right there that, play devil's advocate with Steven Spielberg. Film. These awards were originally created to award Best Achievement in Film.
That's right.
And a lot of movies are digital now. Are we to say, if you want to get that anal, you should
No,
be like,
no,
they should.
that's a good
I'm just
point.
saying, if
That's
you want
a
to get that
good
anal,
point.
you should be
You're
like,
right.
well, you didn't truly make a film. You did that digitally,
Yeah,
which
but-
makes things a little bit easy. I mean, I know there's a lot of.
But no, to your point,
Yeah.
there was a lot of kickback from
Oh, there was
when the
back-
switch to digital
back in
came.
the day, there
and I
was.
think this is the same thing. I think in a couple years, I think it's going to blow over. Spielberg will get quiet about it because, especially now that he's
in the streaming
yeah,
game.
yeah, he'll get quiet about it, and he's really one of the only main voices out there that's really pushing this. That a lot of, like, names that people know, and I think, like anything, it's eventually it'll blow over. People will realize that these are great films. They're great actors. They're getting just as much play as anything in the theaters, and as long as they're meeting the criteria, which they might change the criteria, but still, Netflix is going to meet it. I mean, their films are still going to meet. If you have to have a film in theaters for a full run, they're going to do it.
Right.
And they're still going to be there, and we're going to see more Beasts of No Nation at the Oscars. We're going to see more Romas. We're going to see more. I mean,
Amazon had Manchester by the Sea.
Netflix has got a great looking movie with Kevin Costner and Woody Harrelson coming out tomorrow. It pops up tomorrow on the 29th. And man, I just watched this movie the other night on Netflix about Motley Crue called The Dirt.
Yeah,
not a movie to watch with the kids around, but it was a fantastic movie about Motley Crue. I don't think anybody could have made a film to represent who they are better than this movie, and it's one that I would love to see
in theaters.
In theaters, yeah. But they have these films coming out, and I think eventually that's where they'll go, whether it's in one of their own proprietary theaters or not.
And we've talked about that. We've talked about how the extent to which streaming services are going to make sure that these movies are seen or that they're made credible by. Granted, the Academy has a lot of weight behind it. The Oscars carry a lot of legacy and a weight behind it. Absolutely, those accolades mean something.
Well, Disney's,
and that's the whole point of these streaming services wanting to get in on the game is to say, look, we're here to play the game the way you want it. Yep. We're going to play by the same rules, but the fact is we want to be recognized too.
Absolutely,
and
they should be. They deserve it.
Exactly, and I think just seeing Spielberg jump on this bandwagon, I don't know if he sees the hypocrisy in it. I know he probably thinks he just laughed it off and shrugs it off like, no, mine's different. Mine's still a TV series, so I'm going this platform because I'm offering up a TV series. Yeah. But even still, it's like, look, man, we all watch streaming services.
Technology advances.
Exactly.
You have to
One day, Apple will fit the bill for him to make another Saving Private Ryan, and when it's not nominated for an Oscar because it's ineligible, then he'll be crying, please change these rules, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
So I think it'll blow over eventually.
Definitely.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too. Absolutely. Well, guys, great. So we are calling Spielberg a hypocrite. Fantastic. That's great.
Well, I was going to mention, too, real
just
quick,
made his
Disney's
day.
streaming service. You know, they're going to have their own streaming service.
Oh, guaranteed.
They're buying up other streaming services. You cannot tell me the first movie Disney produces for their streaming service, you can't tell me it's not going to be one
that they try to push for Oscars.
That they don't want to push for Oscars.
Yeah, absolutely.
No doubt.
So.
No doubt. I absolutely think that. I think we're ready to move on to our unique weekly segment. Is it time, guys?
Unique New York.
Unique New York.
It's story time, where the podcast members tell their stories.
That's right, guys. It's story time.
I love that intro so much.
Don't you? That's our good friend Aaron Ralph made that intro for us. Ralph. Guys, I think we got a good topic for y'all this week.
What is it?
I think it's good. Are y'all ready for
I'm
it?
itching. What is it?
All right. We'll just jump right into it.
Ooh, scratch it.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. You got to get that on camera, Keith. You don't get that. Wait. Hashtag
whoa.
him too.
Oh, crap.
Men too. What was that? I'm not touching. Oh, wait. Hold on. I didn't get that either.
You didn't get.
Did you?
I'm trying to wipe the grease off my face. Oh, there's not any because I'm using Dr. Bronner's.
Oh! Did you finally buy you some Dr. Bronner's?
Hell yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, that stuff is amazing.
Sponsor, maybe someday.
It's great until you get it in your pee hole, and then it is not good anymore.
Then it's not good. Yeah,
it's not good.
You know what? Like if you have a cut, it stings a little bit, but then it feels great afterwards.
Yeah.
Like it just
I
it's
agree.
awesome.
No, it is the all-in-one
true God faith soap.
Faith soap.
Yes.
It is
Hero at what is it? Mothership Earth.
Mothership Earth. Yeah.
I've
read the whole bottle, by the way.
It's great.
Well, it's kind of hard when you're sitting there and
time,
you're taking a crap on the toilet and it's right there in the tub.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna pull it up and it's hard not to read.
You're
just
I got on
have
YouTube. There's
like
thousands of uses for that.
Oh yeah,
like people brush their teeth with it. I'm not going to, but you can.
Are you serious?
Yes.
They have like 100 uses on the bottle.
It's crazy.
You
can clean your kitchen with it.
Clean your floor.
I know. I could see that, but I didn't know you could brush your teeth.
You can put
I'm
that.
Sure you can.
It says you can mix it with a couple
of
of other things, coconut oil or something like that, and then you can brush your teeth with it.
I'm gonna try it. I've got the unscented baby kind.
Yeah. See, I got the peppermint.
The peppermint was
the
out.
Peppermint's good.
The peppermint's great because you put it on and then you get out of the shower, you dry off, and then you get the tingly. Because
you know what?
It's like, the cold air hits you.
When you go to the lake and you get sunburnt, you wash with that peppermint. It stings at first, but it takes the sting completely away. Like when you get out of the shower.
There's another use for it.
Cures your sunburn.
I'm not peeing on sunburn anymore. I'm just going to use Dr.
Bronner's.
I'm just glad you brought up the lake because that's our unique weekly segment.
About.
Oh my gosh.
Story time.
I'll bring mine to the lake.
Well, I'm saying here's a story. I got sunburnt. Brandon brought his peppermint Dr. Bronner's. I used it. My sunburn didn't hurt no more.
Is that your favorite lake time memory?
No, but I just wanted to throw that out there again. Use Dr. Bronner's.
Favorite lake time memory. God, there's so
There
many.
are.
There are
so
so many.
It's hard
There's
because
way too many.
we've been going for
10 years almost.
Yeah.
over 10 years.
You
we
all
started
have
in
been.
2007.
I think this is my 10th year coming up. Or no,
No,
this will be my
like your
11th.
year. Yeah.
For you guys,
Yeah.
it's like
12.
I'll be honest,
12.
my
Be
favorite
12.
lake time memory is not with you all.
Ooh, dang, that
Sorry.
hurts.
Well, we're done here.
You didn't specify that
This
it
is
was our
done.
lake trip.
You did say
memory.
favorite lake time because I'm sure Neil's favorite lake time memory might be with Megan. So
Ooh.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, that's where he proposed.
where he-
It's
yeah.
in a lake.
That's where they met.
Oh, that's true.
See,
that's
yeah.
true.
You weren't
Man,
specific
I
enough.
wasn't specific. All right, I'm fine with that lake time memory in general.
Okay,
That we can throw
okay.
that out there. Sean, do you want to start?
Man, I have a lot now.
It opens up a whole new world.
yeah,
doesn't
like
it?
a
It does.
whole
My
new
favorite
world.
lake time memory is, and my dad will love this, but
Oh,
my dad had just got our, this was like back in, God, I don't even know, it was like 20 years ago, because he just got a new Ranger bass boat from the boat show. And we were in the lake. It's probably one of the first times having it in the water. And it had like a little fold down ladder on the back that like snaps into place. And my dad's back there by the motor, and he's trying to get something out of the boat's got a little plug in the back that you got to unscrew to let the water out of the aerator and the live well and all that. So he forgot to plug that in, so the boat was taking on water. So he's leaning down to try and get that plug, and he puts his hand on that ladder that folds down.
Oh,
and it went
no.
bop, like just flipped and folded down real quick, and he fell head first into the water with his wallet, keys, everything in his pockets and stuff. It was hilarious. Like face first down into like 3 feet of water. His head probably hit the bottom. Like it was hilarious. I was real young, and I mean I remember just like trying to do that. Oh my God, Dad, are you okay? But
You couldn't hold it in.
Yeah.
there was no way to hold the laughter in, and it killed me. And I still, every time somebody goes to the back of the boat and leans over to do something, and they put their hand on that ladder,
You remember that.
I'm just like, please God, fall, please, please do it again, please do it again.
This isn't my favorite memory, but I'm reminded of this because you mentioned boat plugs. And
Butt
this is
plugs
not.
or
Yeah, I
boat
think he said
boat-
butt plugs.
boat plug.
I don't remember
This-
those
this
at the
will
lake.
not. This will not be Sean's favorite memory at all either. But
Oh, God.
I do remember one of the first years we got our jet ski, and me,
Oh,
Sean, and Neil went to the
Screw that
lake.
jet ski.
And
It's
we
a
didn't-
problem every
we
year.
didn't realize that jet skis too have plugs. We didn't plug it up. Sean,
Oh yes.
we got it in the water. Sean was on it. And he's like, "I'll meet
Man.
y'all back around." And we were planning on doing something. He was going to take it around to the dock, tie it up, and we were going to do something. So me and Neil went back to the trailer, and we're sitting up there doing whatever. And it's a long time starts passing, and we're like, what's Sean doing? Like, is he down there just fishing, or what's he doing? He's been gone forever.
Hours.
So finally, we decided to walk down there, and you would think, after the first like maybe 30 minutes, we would have been like, okay, let's go check on it. No, we wait like an hour and a half, and we're like, all right. He's been down there for a really long time. Let's go see what's going on. The jet skis took on water because the plug wasn't in there, was sinking, and Sean swam back to the dock, pulling the jet ski behind him with the rope all the way from
Like a mile.
a mile.
to the dock. And I mean, he was livid, which I
was
understand.
upset.
Because, I mean, he just had to drag this jet ski swimming through the lake to the dock. And, I mean, that thing, we got it back. We couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. The next day we wake up and it's underwater.
It sank.
Because we didn't know. So, like, our neighbors,
Yeah, I
neighbors
remember.
down at the lake that we know real well, like, helped us, like, pull
Get
all
it
the
out,
water
yeah.
out of there
Yeah.
and dry it out. And the jet skis never worked right since. But,
Well, I'm like Sean. Screw that jet
Well,
ski.
this-
Every year we
screw that
try
jet
we
ski.
try to get it out there, and
Yeah.
it's like not this year.
it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen
But-
this year.
Oh, it's not a good day for Sean, that's for sure.
I
But it
sore
was for
after
the
that.
rest
I
of
wish I
us.
could still do that though.
You just
man.
drag the jet
Like,
ski back.
Talk
yeah.
about
Sean's like that's
physically fit. I can't do that.
That
anymore.
happens
Yeah.
again. He's
I
like,
get sore brushing my teeth now. Like
Don't-
that.
Yeah.
it happens
Jeez.
again. Sean's gonna be like, man, it's at the bottom of the lake.
It's gone. It's a mile back
gone.
there. It's gone.
But no, I actually my favorite lake time memory is it's kind of a general lake time memory. It happens every year. I tout this every single time somebody asks me like where we're going or how. For one, they're amazed that we've been doing it as long as we've been doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like for me the best thing is no
Neil
doubt.
playing guitar.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was
We-
an
I mean,
amazing memory.
Yeah. I mean, we go down on the dock.
Christian music with the guitar.
With the guitar.
He doesn't remember the
just
Christian
doing
music.
some, worship
music
songs
part.
on the dock, with the stars
10,000
shining.
reasons.
10,000.
That's what it was, I think. But
I'm
go ahead, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm letting the memories sink in.
okay.
I mean, you're
Okay.
bringing up so many good memories.
It's bringing a tear to my
lots
eye.
of
No,
memories.
the best thing is when the sun is freaking beaming down, hot as could be. You're out there on the pontoon boat.
Yes.
And for one, the lake water is so cool, crisp, but you get out there on a little raft and you get a bottle, which now we can with koozies, a Red Moon koozie. You can get a bottle of beer and a cigar, and you sit out there and you float around in the lake with a cigar and a bottle of beer. I mean, there is nothing better in the world. It takes all your worries away. I'm telling you, if you have any stress in your life at all, and it's the perfect time to get away from work, to get away from everything that may be bothering you, and you just drift out there, lay your head back, let the sun hit you. I mean, it's just nothing better. I can't. It is every year I look forward to it. And it's funny because it's like I love it so much that I'm you know how you're always worried
look forward
that
to it
you
all
look
year.
right. You look forward to it, but you're always worried like. Is that going to come up short this year? Am I finally like,
Never.
do I need something else to make this
Never.
trip worth? Never.
Laying on a
Every
float with
year.
a cigar in the sun is probably one of
It's
the
pretty
most
nice.
relaxing
Pretty
things
nice.
I ever get to do, and I love it.
Yeah.
This actually is a funny memory. Our epic battle.
Oh, I forgot all
That-
about
that-
this.
Somebody
I
commented
forgot
on that.
all about
There
this.
is a still a scar on my eyebrow.
For
very
Lamaria.
faint.
For Lamaria.
I got a couple of those oars lasted a long time. They're about to find out. I don't think my parents ever found out what happened to those oars, but they're about to find out now if they're still watching. We had a sword. Well, it wasn't all you because I know me and Neil lost part of it. Was us sword fighting with the oars, and then you smacking me in the face
In the water.
in the water,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
cutting my eyebrow. And you know,
I didn't even know how bad it was.
well,
when it
everybody
happened.
like kind of like I know like Neil and Sean were filming from the boat, and I mean they were zoomed in, and they're like, "Oh crap!" And I'm sitting here like it didn't
He's
feel,
got blood
it
running
didn't
down
it didn't
his
hurt.
face.
Like I touched it, and because I'm in the water, like when I touch it, like the water's washing it away, so it doesn't look like it was bleeding
Right.
that bad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "This ain't nothing." I was like, "This ain't nothing."
No, it's
and
split.
And then Sean and Neil were like, "No, dude, your head is bleeding really
well,
bad."
I mean, we got it on camera. Like
Yeah.
you all are
It's
sitting
somewhere.
there.
I don't know where
like,
that is.
I've got it. I've got.
You've
the,
got it?
oh, yeah,
Okay.
I've got the.
You got-
I've got the evidence.
You just
All
hear you just hear us shouting whatever, and then just thud. Like I just
Yeah.
I
No,
swallowed
that's-
some water.
Well, that's the
and-
great thing. We're out there joking around, fighting. And then it's like, yeah, you hear a thud, and then it's just silence. And then we start swimming back, and I'm
just got
I'm out there.
blood-
I remember I'm sitting here
blood
looking at
dripping
him,
down my face.
and I'm just like, dude, oh crap, I'm sorry, man. And you're like, oh, it's no big deal. And I'm like, oh, I'm
It's
sorry.
a big deal.
And then he starts going back to the boat, and then
I realized
it's
it was
so
a big
funny.
deal when as I swim into the
Yeah.
boat, like it finally started flowing to where like it kept getting my eye and I couldn't keep it. I was like, man, I can't see where I'm swimming. This much blood.
But the great thing is on the camera footage, you sit there and it's like you hear silence, and then all of a sudden, as we start slowly coming back, you hear Sean go, "Oh God!"
that
And then it's like, then you know, he's like, his face is bleeding. Like, it was bad.
it was and then I know me and Neil were doing something stupid with the paddles, throwing them back and forth, and one like I didn't catch it and it sank, and there it rested at the bottom of the lake.
Forever. It's
And there's countless anchors
that
down.
Brandon's
Yes.
rear
Like,
end on
we
the
lose
side
an
over the
anchor
side of
every
the
year.
boat was
Oh
a good
gosh.
memory. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
There's
Yeah.
always a bowel movement in the lake.
Yep.
Yeah.
At some point,
Unless
multiple.
you're too afraid to actually go in the lake. And you
I
just
am. I
hang
don't
o-
like
you
it.
Just
Look,
hang
all right,
over
here's-
the side.
We're not going to say what lake because we want you to swim.
We want you to
in
swim in
peace.
it.
Yeah.
But no, I'll admit it. I do not. For one, Sean was the one that introduced me to this because I didn't think it was proper, and I was like, I'm gonna save it for
You
when
see
we
your
get
wife
back
do
to
it, it's proper.
She's done it.
I don't know that it's proper, but I mean sometimes when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah.
That's true. But here's the thing. I honestly vowed. I was like, I'm gonna save that for the trailer.
I
I'm
think
not
I
gonna-
pooped like twice pulling that jet ski behind me.
No.
It wore the shit out of me.
But no, so like I don't know. You got in there at one point and you started swimming back.
You gotta go, yeah.
And you got to go. But I remember this time specifically, it's like you pull down your pants.
Oh yeah.
You just get complete. I don't like that.
Yeah,
To me,
no,
I'm like,
I take it to the knees. I don't go all the way off.
Well, yeah,
but
yeah.
Take it to the knees.
But to me, I'm like, you expose anything.
Try to turn
I
sideways.
just feel like something's gonna swim up in there. I don't.
No.
I know,
It's
but
not the Amazon River.
it doesn't matter. You got those little fish that nibble at your back.
They're just eating your poop.
But the thing is, they could get too close. They get too close, they could swim up there. I don't like. The small little protection that
He is
cloth,
terrified something's going to swim.
Not going to be the
swim
worst
into
thing
one of
you've
his
had in your
orifices.
rear end. Trust me.
But the thing is, this one particular time
It was good.
This one particular time,
Sean, you touched me.
Oh, him too. Hashtag
Call
men
it.
too.
Just had to
Men
think
too.
about
Call
men
it.
too.
But
Go ahead.
here's the thing. This one particular time, I mean, it was like right after we got out on the lake. We
Yeah.
got out on the pontoon boat.
You couldn't hold it.
I couldn't hold it. I had one too many oatmeal pies. And we get maybe like a mile. It's not too far. We get around this little bend, and I was like, guys, I got to go.
Yeah,
I've got to
just
go.
do.
And you're like, we just got down here. And I'm like, I know, but I've got to go. And we started looking, and that was the other thing. I don't like to jump in and like wash, but it's stupid. It's like, I've got a bidet now. So I'm not afraid of water
Same
going
thing.
up there.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm like, I'm not going to get in and poop. I can't do that. So I've got to like overcome my fear. But I'm like, the next best thing is I'm going to
Hang off the side of the boat.
hang off the side of the boat.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Like hang.
With his butt cheeks in the wind.
Yep. And that's on video as well.
Yeah.
It'll be on YouTube tomorrow.
One day.
Oh no. No. But
I have that.
I
video.
just talk about another
best-
Sean moment of commentary is he's filming this. And it's the full on.
You
full
see,
on. I mean,
like
my
the
bare
biggest
butt
turd I've
coming
ever
over,
seen.
and he goes, "Oh my god!"
Like, you can't even say on air what I said.
Yeah.
Like, it's really bad.
And then a few seconds later, we noticed a dead fish floating in the water, and that just sealed the epicness
Yeah.
of the story. So.
Yeah. Well, part of it fell on the boat. Remember?
Yes.
On the side
That
of
was
the boat.
the
That
bigger
was the
problem.
gross-
Is we were like, okay,
We're trying to climb in the boat, and there's part of a turd sitting there. So
well, we swam to another cove, and we were like, okay, we're away from that thing.
Yep.
So then we
We
get out
brought
and
it
start
with us.
swimming,
Followed us.
and little did we know until we tried to get
It
back in the
follows.
boat, it was a little piece
Yeah.
left
Little
on the
piece,
boat.
little
So,
piece.
I left my presence at no
Good
win.
memories.
Yeah.
Good
Good
well,
memories.
you mentioned the lake.
That's right. That's
Oh,
right.
wow.
Any others?
There's
Honestly,
so many, so many.
we say that, and then it's like, can we really think of another?
I mean, I
I think
could,
that's high.
but
I'm
I mean,
gonna-
we're
I'm gonna
good.
be honest with you. I think Jacob and the snake thing was pretty freaking funny.
Yeah.
not for Jacob.
I
but
know it
yeah.
wasn't for him, but I thought that was.
I
Pretty
just think it was
hilarious.
pretty amazing that Brandon walked right over top of a copperhead and lived to tell the tale. Stepped right over it. It popped up, knew that something just walked over
Yeah.
it, and the rest of us didn't even notice. If it had not been for Jacob, the next person to walk over that snake would have probably been having to
Hell,
rush
I
to
was the only
hospital.
one with a light.
Yeah.
Well, I know. Well, and that was the thing.
So really, I
might
think
have all
Jacob.
walked
I
past
thank
it.
Jacob for saving us because he's the
Yeah.
only one that saw it pop up and was like, "Stop!" But yeah. I mean, that
That
was.
was pretty funny.
I just,
epic.
I honestly.
Him the rest of the night was funny.
Oh, he
Oh
was
yeah,
done.
he was done with the whole
Yeah.
trip. I didn't think he was ever coming back.
Yeah.
I thought he was
I
done
know.
with the
But
lake
he
forever.
did.
He has.
'Cause
He's
he
come
is
back.
an
amazing
But he
man.
has given us, he's given us a curfew. He's like, look, I don't
Well, he
stay
has
out
a
after
curfew.
dark.
Me and Sean have gone out after dark.
Oh, I know.
without you.
But
But-
we make sure we get up there and get him back to the dock before sunset.
Yeah.
Because he
When the
won't
snakes
stay on the
come
boat.
out.
That yeah.
That's right.
But it's like I feel for him because I'm sitting here and I was kind of amazed because I'm like, I just didn't think nothing of it. I'm like, there ain't no snakes down here. We're fine. And I'm
There
telling
ain't no
you, man,
snakes in the woods.
Jacob,
by the lake.
Jacob,
Yeah.
that was
what
his
there
first
isn't
priority.
any of in that lake is fish. Because I have never caught a fish
I know that.
at that lake.
That's true.
See,
you
now
have
you done told him what lake we've been
Oh,
pooping
he
in
said
now.
it earlier.
Oh, you did?
Brandon already
Okay.
said it. So
Did I?
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
more poop in
yeah,
that
you
lake
did.
than fish.
You did.
that's true. Sean
Me and
always
Keith
is-
have gone down there at night. We were chumming the water
I mean,
like in
we've-
Jaws,
we've-
trying to catch something and
We've
didn't catch
caught
nothing.
little things,
Like,
but
yeah, you
nothing
don't wanna
worth.
talk
yeah,
about it, though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It stinks
'Cause
every
we need
time
to-
y'all make it.
Noodle, like that's apparently the only way you can catch them because we see all them noodles floating around. Where
Oh yeah,
yeah,
cheaters.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That was good.
Good times
Good
at the
lake
lake.
time.
Yeah.
Lake time
So,
stories.
so many
We'll
stories,
have-
some
we'll
of
have
which we
plenty
can't
more.
divulge. So
Yeah. We'll have
Yeah.
plenty. Oh yeah, there's tons we can't talk about.
Some of it's secret.
Yeah,
keep it secret, keep it safe.
but That does it for this episode of the
Does
Red
it?
Moon Podcast.
Yes, it
Yes,
does.
I know.
It's
about that
I
time.
mean, it's
It
about that
is.
time, guys.
We're over.
We're over.
We're
We're never
over.
over.
8 minutes over.
Oh, I thought you meant like over on time.
I thought you meant you were breaking up. Like, we're over.
Over.
That's next week's relationship
Oh,
segment.
man. Are we breaking up next week?
I don't know. We'll have to see. You'll have to tune in next week to find out what our relationship segment is going to be all
Relation
about.
The relation sick.
Because when you're in a relationship, it makes you sick.
Love sick.
But if you all have any questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, any of our new viewers out there who may be tuning in tonight want to email us, well, you can do that, guys.
Yeah, so where would they
Share
email
that
us at?
information.
I've got it right there in the bottom of our screen, right there.
Right.
Oh,
Email
right-
us
right-
at RMPodcast
there?
at hold on.
Right,
Let's, I'm going to cut through.
that?
Oh,
Is that
Sean's
it?
got it.
Oh,
Keith's got it.
Yeah,
Oh my
right
gosh,
there.
all three. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
we're fantastic. Yes.
fantastic.
Email us at rmpodcast at redmoonproductions.com.
One more time,
I'll tell you one more time.
please.
rmpodcast at redmoonproductions.com.
Sounds the same as the first time you said it.
You want me to? Should I say it again? Why
No,
don't
I
you
think
say
you're
it?
good.
You say it.
I always forget it. That's why I call on you.
Can I say it?
Yeah, you
Please.
can say it.
RMPodcast at redmoonproductions.com. Was that good enough? We did a little bit different.
Sounded like a trailer.
Okay.
A movie trailer.
I think that was perfect. I think that was perfect.
In a world where
That was
men
good.
review movies.
White men.
White men. We got to make that clarification.
White privileged men.
Until next time, guys, I am one of your hosts, Brandon Davidson, alongside our normal new host,
Sean Sebastian.
and
Keith Cheatham. Bulimic cattle herding galactic anteaters capriciously endeavoring through Baroque corner chimps.
Baroque corner.
Baroque.
We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. For more reviews, previous podcast shows, and everything Red Moon, visit our website, redmoonproductions.com. You can also like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for Red Moon Productions, LLC. We'll see you at the movies.